Okay, not sure what happened there. He's my biggest. What a beautiful fish. Neon orange and black. I call him Halloween. Actually, I think it's a girl. The boys have lumps, kind of humps, right behind their head. Because they use that to bump the females' bellies to squish the eggs out. And the females are usually bigger. And I keep saying he, but I think it's a she. She's pretty big. She's got to weigh 10 pounds. This one we call sturgeon. That's Gigi. Goldie's granddaughter, the one that started this whole pond. Found her in a canal. Nobody's here even listening to me. Oh well. I'm wondering with this phone, can you even hear the waterfall? Or do you hear the freeway in the background? Nobody's here. Boo hoo. That's okay. Koi TV is for me anyway. Oh, Heather, I hear the water, I think. Hmm. Yeah, you really miss the experience unless you have the sound. And that microphone I bought is just horrible. This is my Android phone right here. I need to figure out what kind of microphone I need for this surveillance camera I've got. Because it just makes the pond experience. You gotta hear the water, you gotta hear the fish slurping on the lily pads trying to get the stray pellet that's up there. Gotta hear the mockingbird that chirps all day long. Nice, Heather. I know a lot of people aren't getting notifications. Whatever. This isn't here for popularity. This is just my cool spot I thought I'd share with you. Thank you. I love my fish. My pond is 12 years old, so these fish are like kids to me. So I bought this knife online. It came today. Oh, cool. I'm glad you can hear it. Anyway, I'm gonna hook this knife onto my little grabber here. Old lady grabber. Somehow. So I can trim those lily pads because they are, well, for one, they're like 50 years old. And the older they get, the bigger, like this one here in front, this one right here, that thing is probably almost a foot around, 11 inches. I mean, and this over this whole pond with some way to, and there really is no way. It's just a big long stem that goes all 3.5 feet down to the bottom, and you really want to get that whole stem. So I thought I'd hook it onto my little grabber somehow so I could clamp it down there and grab them, you know, away from the bottom. Yeah, but I need some tie wraps and I don't have them, but it's coming. These lily pads have already taken over my pond. I love them, but dang, they grow like weeds every day. It's just like 6 inches more of your pond is gone. It's hard to keep a channel going all the way around. Yeah, the older because the lily pads grow from like this, like a stump, like a tree stump or a branch. Actually, more like a branch, but it's like a clone of the whole. If you take a little piece off, they're still gonna grow these big, huge lily pads. You know, it's an old established. It has its, you know, engine going. It knows how to make leaves, and you just take a little piece off, and you'll have this in, you know, 2 months. They're crazy. And they're really wonderful. These grow up out of the water like 2 feet. They, you know, absorb the nitrogen that's in the water that the fish poop makes, and they give up oxygen, so that's what helps keep the pond clear. It's a biological filter, and so they're really great to have, but dang, they're so healthy that I just spend all my time trimming them back. It's like every day I have to do something, and there really is no tool on the market that you know is made for reaching down there and up those lily pads down the whole stem and everything. So I'm gonna make one. I gotta make one. Oh yeah, well the fish love it. That's, you know, it's their habitat. All the stalks and stems create, you know, algae grows on it, and that helps eat the nitrogen that the fish, you know, produce. So the plant grows off the fish waste, and it, you know, comes into a natural balance. My pond actually took a really close to 2 years to really achieve its balance to where the water will stay clear, and, you know, there's enough greenery plants. You know, I've got these elephant ears and tropicanas there in the water also that eat the nitrogen. So you need plants in there to eat it and produce the oxygen. Your pond doesn't I'm not going to say it doesn't have algae. It has algae, but it's clear. It found its balance. The algae just grows along the sides, and it all works out. But it's a long process to get a pond that will stay clear. The filter I have on it is filled with bioballs, they call them, which are just little plastic balls that have holes in them that it just creates a lot of square inches of area for algae and stuff to grow so that it too can eat the nitrogen that's coming through and create the balance you need in your pond. Ponds are wonderful, but they're a lot of work. You don't just sit back. To achieve the good biological, like I just had to change the water in my pond 2 days ago, so I'm expecting probably tomorrow, the next day, probably the pond is gonna blow up with algae because I put tap water in that has a lot of chlorination that wants to kill the algae, and it kills the algae, and then my biological filter gets messed up and it gets all cloudy and then has to regroup and get back into the biological thing. So it's a never-ending battle. Yeah, I've thought about, actually I tried it, aquaponics, on some tomato plants. I just put them over here on the side where I have some little ledges, and I just go get whatever they wanted. If you watered them sparingly with, the water from they would do excellent. Using the water that's in here, I have a lot of fish, so I have a lot of nitrogen that every plant's gonna love. Yeah, if I could put some feeders out, as it's really hot fertilizer, sparingly water them, that would be great. Something I have maybe every day or every other day. And all that water right now, I have it going out onto my lawn, which is lush and green. But I would like to use, gonna fish out of the and water my plants, but this water, if I watered them with that straight water, they would probably die because it's too much nitrogen. So, but something to think about, how you could incorporate that, because my pond is plant food. They want that, and I need to get rid of all that nitrogen. So you just can't go overboard, and that's where I'm. I don't know how much to give them. Yep, win-win. But overall, I can say having a pond, it grows on you. You'll like it at first. Oh, it's really cool, but after 12 years, you're like, these are my kids, I'm like addicted to it. Plus, just coming out here and kicking off your shoes and just putting your feet barefoot flat on the ground, drink a beer, whatever. It's just so relaxing. Get away from all that stress and computers and Wi-Fi and all. Of course, what am I doing right now? My lovely natural experience to YouTube, but whatever, you know. I'm relaxing. I hope you can get a little bit out of it. My daughter came out here the other day. She's like, Mom, you've been out here 5 hours. Well, my daughter's 23, but she's like, Mom, you've been out here 5 hours. I was like, what? Really? I mean, once you sit out here and you think, oh, I could go do this with the pond, but once you sit down, it's like, no, I'm not leaving. This is just like, it's like a magnet. Bring your favorite adult beverage. Yep, it's just, you know, Heather, really, you got to put your feet on the ground. Off your shoes, and the deck is not going to really help you. But when you put your feet on the ground, I'm an electrician. It grounds your body. Your body is starving for negative ions, and when you put your feet on the ground barefoot, I swear I can feel the negative ions just flowing into my body, and it you don't want to leave. It feels so good. But no matter what you do, whenever you can go barefoot on the earth is good. And a lot of reason that I think society is really kind of screwed up, you know, shoes, flip-flops, whatever, they insulate you from the earth, from the ground, and you need that grounding. And when you have your feet on the ground, literally, scientifically, negative ions are flowing into your body, which is what your body is so depleted of because of all this Wi-Fi, all this electronic crap. And just to sit out here with your feet on the ground, it's really amazing. And when you really know about it and think about it, when you sit down and you kick your shoes off, because a lot of times I come out here, I'm wearing them out here, oh, this is cool, but then I remember you gotta kick your shoes off, and I kick my shoes off, and it's like, you literally can feel the goodness coming from the earth. Seriously, I might sound like a crack, but you can. I can. Yep, you gotta stay grounded as much as you can, barefoot. Just think about outside. You're walking around in your grass. Just kick your feet off and feel the difference. You can actually feel it. It's just amazing. Thank you. I'm not quacking. Or I hope I'm not. Yeah, well, all you can do is try it, you know, and show him. I mean, you'll either really feel it or you won't. But even if you don't, still do it, because I guarantee you it's good for you. I guarantee it, no matter what. I'm an electrician. I know about how these things work, and I know your body is craving the negative ions that you get from the earth and the ocean. Why you feel so good, you know, when you go to the beach that's what it's craving. Even if you like go to a concert and you're around a bunch of people and you know, you always remember your concerts because you're with physically with a whole bunch of people who's putting off their own frequencies, and you're all coming together. I mean, I hope I don't sound stupid, but really, you just picture every single person has got this thing around them, all these circles around them, and when those circles all come together, it makes like way more. You're with all these people, you're feeling all their frequencies and everybody connected, and it's awesome. And that's what the powers that be don't want us to know. They want us to communicate on the internet, and you know, that's how everything. But no, if you get, that's why hugging, kissing, all that is so important, because you're actually touching. When you're touching another person, you are accepting all their frequencies and they're accepting all of yours, and so it makes it more. And that's the key. When everybody gets together physically, we're unstoppable. But you know, they try and keep us on the internet, keep everybody away from everybody, and you know, it's just sad. Hey, Victoria. Yeah, well, you know, I have a lot of weird views on things, but you know, those are being an electrician for be 30 years next year. I'm retired, but I was with the union, IBEW, journeyman wireman for 20 years. And it's, you know, like Tesla said, it's all about electricity, frequency, sound waves. Yeah, it's all about that. It really, really, really is. Just go group hug 10 people sometime and just hold on to each other and just talk for 10 minutes, you know, whatever. Just do it. Just electrically connect with somebody. Even one person or two people, you'll feel it. You can, and it's awesome, you know. The dog, the dog's not feeling all that good. She's out in the front yard. She's not too happy about that, but her abscess is, they put a tube in and it's just drip, 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 drip. I can't have her in the house. It's just like, no way. So I made her a little bed out there in the front yard, put her on the leash, and she's out there now. Yeah, it ended up being $1,089. Don't know what caused it. I think maybe it was a foxtail, but they said they cut her open on her cheek and just gush, all stuff came out, and she's got 2 huge holes in her neck with a drain tube up one side and down the other, and it's just horrible. But she's home, and you know, I'm sure she's gonna get better. It's gonna take a bit. She goes back in 5 days to get the little drain tube taken out, and I hope they don't charge me for that too. I think that's included. I sure hope so, because I did not have, I was lucky I got, they call it a care credit, where some people, like, well, I don't know who they are, but if you got good enough credit, they'll pay the bill and you can pay them. If you pay them off in 6 months, you don't get any interest charges. But then if you don't pay them in 6 months, then the interest charges are like 30% or something really stupid. But, you know, if you don't have the money, what do? You know, I mean, I had to do something, so I got on the care credit and they paid the bills. So now I have like $1,100 I gotta pay within 6 months, or else I'm gonna be charged 30% on whatever balance I have. Yeah, thank God for care credit, because they don't do any kind of billing. If you don't have the money to fix them, sorry, you know. You know, God. And come on, really? $1,100 to take her in. Yeah, they had to put her out. They had to put a catheter in her. They had to shave her neck and open, put a curette, whatever, in there and scrape it all out. But still, come on, $1,100. But what are you gonna do? I mean, Jackie was my rescue. I found her on the freeway 8 years ago, all broken, and you know, I had to get her fixed up. Her femur was broken, and I spent $3,000 on her, on a vet that was working out of his garage doing side work. Put a pin in her femur, and she had that for like 3 months. They had to take it out. Anyway, even with that, it was over $3,000 when I found her, all broken. Now here's another 11. She's like a $5,000 dog. She was a rescue. Help me. Not help me, but, you know, what do you say? Wow. Pet plan, yeah, that would be great. Well, this place didn't offer that, so. She is a special girl. She's a German Shepherd. I'll put some pics up on my channel tomorrow. She's a German Shepherd, and she is very, very protective of me, and she's very protective of my grandson, who she doesn't even like, and runs whenever he comes. But, you know, we were out in the US neck, and my daughter was out there, and she told him, "Oh, walk to Sergio, the guy across the street that was over visiting," and Oliver started walking to Sergio, and Jackie ran up and just stood right in between them and Sergio, and my daughter was calling her, and Jackie's well trained and behaved. She's like, "Jackie, come here, come on, Jackie, come on, let Oliver walk." No, Jackie would not move. She just stood there between Oliver and Sergio and was gonna protect him, even though she doesn't like him. She knows, you know, we love him, and he's part of the family, and even if she doesn't like him, she's gonna protect him. So, no, Jackie, she's the greatest dog. She is the greatest dog. Yeah, I think I was meant to find her. Because really, when I saw her on the freeway, I was driving like 30 miles away to pick up my daughter, and I had to be there at a certain time, and I was driving down the freeway, and I don't know, I just so happened to glance at the center median when we went under an overpass, and she was and she's a German Shepherd, and she's tan and brown, and she was in these tan and brown weeds, and you could like barely see her unless you were like really, really looking for her. And I don't know what, but and I saw her, and she looked right in my eyes, and I drove by, and I was like, oh my God, that dog's got to be hurt or something, because this was freeway, 4 lanes each, or 2 lanes each way. There's no way she'd just be lounging around there in the weeds. And so I drove down the highway freeway for about 5 miles, and I saw a highway patrol pulled off to the side. And so I pulled off behind him, and he was right inside. And I walked up to his passenger side, and I said, "Excuse me," and he jumped, and he looks over at me like he was all pissed off, like I walked up to his car, and he goes, "What's the problem?" And I said, "Well, I saw this dog, about 5 miles back. She's right under this overpass, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, and he looks back down at his ticket book, and he goes, "All right, I'll call animal control." And I said, "All right, thank you." And so I continued on my way, went and picked up my daughter, and we went shopping, we had dinner, blah, blah, blah. It was like 3 hours. I was driving back, and I was telling my daughter the story, and 7 o'clock at night, nobody was going to come out then, and I was like, oh my God. So we pulled over and went, and I picked her up, and she had been laying on the ground, I don't know for how long, but when I picked her up, she was flat, absolutely flat on one side, and she was only about 4 inches thick. She was probably about a 9, 10-month-old dog, but she was only 4 inches thick, and she wouldn't have lasted one more day. And I picked her up, and then I seen her back leg just wobbling. Her femur was broken. It was just like, oh my God, really? But what do you do, Oh my God. She looked in my eyes, I was already stuck on her, so yeah. $3,000 later. She's been these last 8 years, and now she got this thing on her cheek. So here's another 1,100. Yeah, she's a $5,000 dog, and she's just a rescue broken off the center of the freeway. Yeah, I don't know if she like jumped out of a truck or got hit by a car, or I don't know what, but her femur was broken, and she had some really bad scrapes. Actually, when I took her, had a chip off her pelvis had broken. So, they wanted like $7,000 to fix her. And I found this vet that does side jobs out of his garage, and he fixed her, and I ended up spending like $2,500 there, but I'd already spent $500 at the other vet, and yeah, so really. But she's a great dog. Victoria, how old is it? It's not very old, is it? Your pond. And what kind of filter do you have on it? How big is your pond, and how many fish do you have? Mm. I was fishing last year at a bigger pond because they had babies then running 12 months now. Filter's a biofilter about 12 months ago. How big is your pond? And how big is your filter? What kind of a biofilter is it? One of those little ones that has the cartridge like thing you put in, have to pull it out and clean it all the time. Mine is like a diatomaceous earth pool filter that's filled with bivalves. And you know, I just take it, I backwash it, rinse, backwash, rinse, backwash, rinse, like every other day or so, and it pukes out all this really green stuff that's, you know, really just like liquid gold if you think about your plants. But you know, I produce so much of it, I don't know. But my pond is about 2,200 gallons, and my filter is about a 50, 60 gallon biofilter that I have to backwash every other day, or you know, depends on how hot it is. UV light, yeah, I don't have that. Yeah, I have that problem too about circulation. I mean, that's like the key. I just really sit out here drinking a beer and thinking how I can get it to circulate. I would like to put a water wheel like right there on the bridge that kind of swishes it down so it comes around. But really, when you look, like my ducks they're stuck. This water just like doesn't move enough, and I need to figure out something. Of course, all these lily pads keep it from moving too. You know, the less there are, the more they can circulate. But yeah, that's a big problem. You need circulation for sure. I've got a bottom drain on my pond. This deep end right here where the lily pads are is about 3.5 feet, and the shallow end is, I don't know, maybe inches. Um, so it sucks off the bottom drain and goes up into my 60-gallon biofilter, and then comes back out and comes back out that 2-inch pipe down there at the end. I'm in Central California. One six, so that's like 300 gallon, 400 gallon pond. What is it, like a plastic, or do you have a liner, or how deep is it? How big is it? I mean, I'm no expert for sure. I just, you know, I've lived with this pond for 12 years, and you know, I've got it running pretty good, but it could be better for sure. I'm really trying to think of, you know, bringing another line off the filter instead of it just coming right to the waterfall, to bring another like 1/2 inch line over to the side and putting a, like what a pool has, you know, down in the middle on the side. It's got like an adjustable output, so it would, you know, I could push the water around in a circle so it would circulate. But that would mean, you know, draining the pond down, you know, finding some way to affix that to that 30 mil liner I have, watertight, you know, and then plumb it back up to the filter But I'm really going to have to do something like that because, that's my main problem. I think if I had better circulation, I would be having to do these water changes a lot less. Because the water changes are not good. When you put in that tap water, it's chlorinated. Even if I use the dechlorinator, you put it in while they do, still the algae and it's bad. The fish lose the slime. They have this protective slime on them, and the chlorine will take that slime off them, and they'll get sores and good. So yeah, it's a commitment for sure. You just really got sting. You must be Heather. 350 G's, 3 foot in the deepest end, 1 foot in the shallow. It's built above ground. I get scared with the grandkids. Well, mine's behind a fence, so I don't have to worry about that. My grandkids, I have a little, like a 4-foot cyclone fence all the way around my pond and my pool. And yeah, that would be scared too. Yeah, you have to have that fenced off if you got grandkids. Absolutely. Actually, my one of my nieces, who's now a mother herself, moss. I don't think moss grows inside a pond. There's a lot of different kinds of algae. There's string algae, and there's that black algae, and there's green algae that just runs on the side. You get that single, and then when that goes a nice green algae on. Yeah, what's your weather like? They hibernate. They don't eat. I mean, they still swim around, but just a little. Um, I just have to worry about the heat more. Man, I wouldn't remove plants. You need plants, more plants, always more plants. They can't hurt your pond at all. All the plants can do is help it. You always need more plants. You could cover the whole pond with plants. It would be awesome, but then you couldn't see the fish. But yeah, the more plants you have, the better. That's not going to hurt you. That's only going to help you. These Tropicanas and like elephant ears, I don't know, you probably can't see them here. They're a bog plant. You put them directly in the water, and yeah, they just thrive off that nitrogen. They just suck that nitrogen right out of the water. Why did your plants die? What kind of plants did you have in it? You need to find bog plants, water lilies or water hyacinths, Tropicanas, elephant ears. All those are kind of bog plants that are used to living in like water that will thrive. Okay, Heather. Well, thanks for stopping by. Yep. Can't have too many plants, though. Huh? Well, I'd try a different plant then. I've had great results with any bog plant that I put in my pond. Where did you have a small earthquake? I'm not at my computer, so I can't tell. Where where are you, Victoria? In the UK? Oak Oh, Oakley, California. Oakley. Man, I think that's south of me. I'm in Central California. San Joaquin Valley. Central San Joaquin Valley. You're in England. Man, I wish I could send you some of my elephant ears. I'd like to spread their genes all around this world. These are some, or not my elephant ears, my lily, 50-year-old lilies. Grew you some huge leaves. Shade the water, prevent the algae growth, suck up the nitrogen, and deliver oxygen. Nice lily pads, that's what you need. Yeah. Or that's what works for me. Plus it's fun watching the flowers open in the morning and then they close at night. And, oh, looks like YouTube glitched out on me. Yeah, I would try lily pads, but don't just get like any like run-of-the-mill lily pads. Look around for some good old ones. Maybe on eBay, that you can get shipped to you. That would be my suggestion. Like these lily pads, they will take over anywhere they're at. Not like those ones you buy at the local hardware store that grow these leaves that are like this big around. Really don't do anything and you struggle to keep them alive. And these lily pads are like, you can't stop them. They're like, they have an engine in them that's 50 years old that just, it's crazy. A local canal, that's a good idea. They've been established for a while. Just find some that are nice, have some nice big leaves on them. Just go break off a little chunk. That's all you need. Just break off a chunk and it'll grow. I need another beer. Excuse me for a sec. Oh, okay, I'm back. Where's my bottle opener? What the heck? Cheers. From the root, yeah. You can't just have a... Yeah, you gotta break off part of the... They grow out of these, like, nubs. It, like, grows like a trunk, like a tree on the ground, on the pond floor. And there'll be little nubs sticking out. Just break up a nub, as big a nub as you can, and bring it home. Tulies, too. I don't know what... if you have those in the UK, but that's what they call them here. Tulies are like... they look like lily pads, but they don't have flowers. They're just like... grow wild in the canals and stuff. Just anything in the water that's big, you know, has a lot of green, you know, a lot of fuel as they do. Then you can throw in a couple little, you know, water hyacinth, or even some, you know, maybe you like pink, or you can get some pink lilies and just start them in your pond and just start growing them. You know, the more years that go on, the better they get, you know, the bigger they get. Want some pink ones, some yellow ones, but meanwhile you need something that's really gonna, you know, eat up your nitrogen. Because you need plant greenery, as much greenery as you can get. You know, my Tropicana's back there. This thing's like 4 feet tall. It's got a lot of greenery on it. It eats a lot of nitrogen. So whatever you can get to live in your pond that has a lot of leaf space, that's what you need. Uh-huh. I changed the water yesterday, and now the fish look like they're wanting to spawn. They do that when you do a water change. To them, it's like, oh, okay, I'm out in the wild, and the water is melting, the snow's melting off the mountains, and it's filling up the streams, and the clean water starts rushing down, washing, you know, all the stuff away, and so now it's time to spawn. So when you do a water change, they all get real frisky, running around wanting to spawn, because that's just in their genetics. But I don't need any more fish. I have so many fish, and a lot of really big fish. Puts a lot of pressure on the pond. Figures so many gallons per inch of fish. And I have no idea how many fish I have, but it's gotta be like 50, 60 fish. And probably about a dozen of them are really, really big fish. And probably 60% of what's left are really big goldfish or, you know, small koi. Yeah, I have a lot of inches of fish in my pond. So it takes a lot more work to keep it clear, and but it's a labor of love. Oh, nobody's even in here, it looks like. I'm talking to myself. Oh well, what's new? This isn't for you anyway, it's for me. So there. Time for another beer. Oh. My invention works. It's a little tweaking, but where's my beer? Num num num. God, I love it out here. Could stay out here all night. I'm afraid Flo's stuck over there. Don't think I can reach her. Maybe I can. Got her. Cheers. I don't know, my invention worked a little bit, but needs some tweaking. Sitting by the dock of the bay, watching time roll away. Aw, they love each other. Cheers. One more beer. Oh, shit. I got my bottle opener. Cheers. Brand new. Possum's probably pissed off at me. He's usually out here right now. Oh, hello. Can I sleep out here tonight, please? I know, buddy. Yeah, I was out with the dog today, so the fish got neglected. Thought I'd spend some time out here with them, drink a couple beers. Gigi, Goldie's granddaughter, beautiful fish. Yeah, there's gnats out here, but that's just because I have the light on. Oh, that. Oh, he was so huge. One of those water, they look like cockroaches, but they have wings, but they also swim in the water. Oh my god, this thing is huge. Cheers. God, what time is it anyway? 1:42. Yeah. Last call. Sometimes I come out here and I just get stuck. Most of the time I come out here, I get stuck. It's like watching a fire, but better. Except for those winged cockroach looking water bugs. They creep me out. Nah, I've tried that, but I'm disabled. It's kind of hard for me to get down there. I've got a video in my koi playlist on my channel where my daughter's girlfriend is hand feeding them off of the bridge. It's funny because my oldest daughter is like scared to death of them. She's 23, but is convinced that they could like eat her hand off. I'm like, Amy, they have no teeth. They're bottom feeders. They just suck. No, no, no. And she would like flip out to get in this pond, which has to be done occasionally. But no, I mean, she would just like freak out. But they have no teeth. But no, I can't get down there and hand feed them. It's hard for me to get down there, but I've got video of my daughter's girlfriend doing it off the bridge. I think the ducks might be having a little spat. They seem to be back to back, not talking to each other. Here's my biggest fish right here. Halloween. Ooh. That guy's gotta weigh like 10 pounds. Oh, everybody's coming by right now. I said, no, I don't hand feed them because I'm disabled. It's hard for me to get down, but if you look on my koi playlist, I've got a video of my daughter's girlfriend hand feeding them off the bridge. I just can't do it. Oh, you see my, I have a much love in the middle of my bridge. See the heart? Oh, how cute. Oh, look, the ducks have made up. They're getting ready to kiss. Uh-oh, 2 cigarettes left. Yeah, disabilities suck. I have a new right knee. Well, not new. 10 years old. Needs to be replaced. My right ankle's fused, and my left knee is like so far gone. It's not even funny. But since I had my right knee done, I remember how painful and hard it was to recover. So I just hope I die before I have to get it done, it's really painful. Oh, there's that bug. Two ligaments in hell. 1981, kind of tore off my foot, broke my femur, and so it kind of trashed my right leg. But then I went and worked 20 years as a union electrician. I'm just totally wore out my joints, you know, limping, put a lot of pressure on my other knee, which made it go bad. And so, yeah, I made really good money while I was working, but now I'm pretty much sedentary. Sold my body just like a prostitute. It's hard work. Yeah, you get paid good, but, you know, you sell your body. That's exactly what it is. Pond is like 3.5 feet deep at the deep end, and maybe, I don't know, 1.5 at the shallow end where the water comes out. It's about 10, probably about 18 feet long, and about 12 foot wide here. Pretty big. And that's because of a rescue too. Tracy, yeah. I gotta rescue the plants that are on the at Home Depot. They have in the buy it now for $1 because they're dying aisle. Yeah, I always end up buying those. I save dogs. The one cost me $1,100 today that I don't have. The fish I rescued from the canal because it was draining and she was gonna die. But my fish and my dog both give me so much pleasure. It's totally worth it. I've spent like $5,000 on that dog. Rescued her broken off the freeway about 8 years ago. Cost me $3,000. Another $1,100 today. Shaking my head. Yeah, they had to put her out, catheter, lance the wound, put in a drain tube. Yeah. And what are you gonna say? No. And not to mention, if you don't have the money, they ain't gonna do it. You gotta pay them right now. I was lucky I got, they call it care credit, where I don't know, some people front you the money, then you gotta pay them. If it's over $1,000, which mine was, you have 6 months interest free. So if I don't get this $1,100 bill paid off within 6 months, then they charge like 30%, 29 point something. Yeah, I gotta get that bill paid. What do you do, you know? Oh, right on, nobody. I'm 50. What am I? 2018. So I'm 56. I'll be 57 in December. Yeah, kids, this is what you have to look forward to in your old age. But seriously, this pond has probably saved me a ton of doctor bills because it is so relaxing and you decompress out here. Put your bare feet on the ground, get those negative ions. Yep, it's the way to go. And 64 isn't old. I'm gonna go grab another beer. I'll be right back. Oh. Okay, I'm back. Last beer. You know, since I got that infrared camera that Dutch recommended, I never really realized how active the fish were at night. So now this is my favorite time to be out here. I have the regular light on right now, not the infrared, but yeah, I thought they pretty much slept all night, but they don't. They're cruising around. And you can see them so much better at night with the light on than you can in the day because of the glare on the water from the sun. I don't know, they seem to be like me. I'm a night owl. I'm up all night and sleep all day. They kind of seem to be that way too. Where are they? I very rarely see them when the sun rises. When the sun rises, that's about the time I go to bed. I don't know why. That's just, I'm retired. I don't have to get up for anything. That's just the way my body is. I'm in California. It's hot here. You sleep during the hot of the day and you're up at night when it's cool. I mean, if you don't have to get up for work or whatever, that's just the way my body has adjusted. The hell with society. Why is that wrong? It's not even hot now. It's cool. Probably about 68, I'm thinking. 66, maybe. But it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Whoa. What's going on here? No, not Celsius, Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is, Celsius. I'm in America. Oh, 68 is about perfect. I'd rather be a little bit cold than hot. Can always cover up. I don't even have air conditioning. I have a swamp cooler. Which is cool unless it gets over like 100 degrees, and then, yeah, it sucks. Okay, that was it. My last beer. Gotta go in now. I'm gonna put the stream back on my surveillance camera. Infrared. Watch them eat the rest of this food. Yep, it's about 2 a.m. I go check on my doggie. She's still in the front yard, oozing out of her abscess. I had to take her to the vet today for $1,089. Whatever. It's only money, right? Paying on this bill for a year. She's doing good. She's still a little bit out of it, but I'm gonna post some pictures probably when I go inside. She's got 2 huge holes in her neck where the abscess is draining. I can't even let her in the house because, I mean, it's just like drip, 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 just constantly oozing. They have a tube in there, and yeah, it's gross. I have to flush it out twice a day with some stuff in a syringe, and ugh, not looking forward to that, but gotta do it. She's my baby. So thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna stop this stream on my phone and go back inside and put it back on the surveillance camera in infrared. and probably just go to bed. So thanks for coming by. Much love.